This presentation will discuss the process of participatory vendor selection. Participatory vendor selection is the process in which a group of individuals come together to agree upon a particular vendor. This scenario will focus on a group deciding on the selection of an electronic health records vendor. In order to reach a consensus in participatory vendor selection, a 7-step process is completed. First, experts are invited to participate. Second, the selected stakeholders take part in one-on-one interviews to determine their preferences. Third, the experts collaborate in a group setting to revise their preferences and come to a group-wide consensus. Fourth, the group creates a scoring procedure. In Step 5, the group discusses their differences and compromises to create a new scoring procedure. Sixth, the group measures the vendor's performance on various attributes and uses the scoring model to score each vendor. Lastly, the facilitator documents this information and distributes it to the members of the organization. This chart reveals the preferences of our first expert, a physician in a hospital. After a face-to-face interview, the analyst found that ease of use with a weight of 0.65 was most important to this expert, followed by compatibility and cost. This can be attributed to the fact that a physician in a hospital would more likely value rapidity of use and how it fits into the current system over cost. The levels and ratings shown in this table were devised by the expert. This chart shows the preferences of our second expert, the CEO of the hospital, after an individual interview with the analyst. Giving a weight of 0.6, this expert values low cost above all other attributes, and the weights for ease of use and compatibility are equal at a value of 0.2. The reason for the high level of importance placed on cost could be due to the fact that the CEO wants the most cost-effective system for the hospital. This chart shows the consensus model that was developed by the two experts after they met with one another. The experts came to a consensus for the weights and ratings for the various attribute levels. 3 hypothetical vendors were found who offered the components to meet the vendor's preferences. These vendors, each of which offer varied levels of ease of use, compatibility, and cost, are shown in different colors as vendors A, B, and C. These calculations help us to determine which hypothetical vendor to select. The overall score for each vendor is calculated by the weighted sum of the ratings. For example, for vendor B, the weight of ease of use, 0.4, is multiplied by the rating of 100. The weight 0.2 of compatibility is multiplied by the rating of 0, and the weight of 0.4 for cost is multiplied by the rating of 100. All of these numbers are then summed to equal 80. In this case, vendor B has the highest score of the 3 vendors, so it is recommended that the experts choose vendor B. Vendor selection can be a time-consuming and frustrating process. Even after thorough investigation, product demonstrations, and site visits, the organization may still not have the necessary information at the end of the process. For this reason, the structured group process that is described in this presentation is beneficial because it collects necessary information and puts it to appropriate use. It is also a very organized process that allows for extensive internal communication between the relevant people involved in the decision-making process. Quantifying the preferences of the individuals involved in the decision-making process is also very valuable because it organizes subjective information into data that can be used objectively. When it is difficult to reach consensus due to the clashing preferences of the stakeholders, it is beneficial to use a systematic and objective approach that will allow the complex task of vendor selection to be based on specific criteria. Conducting interviews is also very valuable because it makes all individuals involved feel that they have been heard and that their concerns have been adequately addressed. When this happens, people become more committed to making the right decision for the organization as a whole.